Hello and welcome to Mad About Motors. Now, over the last 7 weeks, we've met some real characters.
We have, but none of them quite as crazy as this lot.
And you should know, Steve, because you're going to be racing with them.
Do I have to?
You do.
Oh dear.
I catch up with a lady who's shaking up the rallying world, and Steve Fowler offers some top tips on reducing those high car insurance premiums.
You come to the meeting, get your car ready, then put your brains in a bottle.
Flag drops, everything stops, and you just get your foot down and get going.
No friend, all enemy.
It's quite a feeling when you hit somebody else's car and it just folds up underneath yours.
This may look like a scene from Mad Max, but it's actually just a day at the aptly named Banger Races in Warton. What kind of people come stock car racing?
The ones that actually race are nutters. Some people like to race to win for the trophy, and others just come to enjoy themselves. And the way they enjoy themselves is wrecking everybody else's car, and usually finish up wrecked themselves. This track started with a gang of local lads racing around in cars in the early 70s, and it developed from that. The track that you see now had a hump in the middle of it that you couldn't see the other side of when they first started racing it. And it's developed from that, from a hole in the ground.
What about accidents? Because it must be a pretty dangerous pastime.
Yeah, we've had the odd broken bone, very few, mainly fingers, but we've never had a really serious accident. The crumple zones that you get with a banger naturally absorbs most of the impact. And cars, they look horrific when somebody piles into the back of them. And the guy will get out, smile at the bloke behind him and shake his hand.
So what's the best kind of banger to race, apart from maybe a tank?
Granadas seem to be the most popular. Jags, XA6s are quite popular.
You can't do that to a Jag.
Yes, you can. There is no such thing as a car that's too rare or too posh to banger. You know, even Rolls Royces have been done.
Are you mad? You've got a coffin on top of your car. Is that not tempting fate?
No, it's all part of the fun, and I've painted it up in another team's colours, but they haven't turned up, so...
You got them running scared with it?
I think so, yeah.
How did you first get into this?
About 8 years ago, one of my mates started racing and I went to watch, so I decided to have a go and done it ever since.
Now, this is a pretty unusual thing to be racing in. Where did you come up with this idea?
It's just what came along.
How many races will you get out of it?
Probably about half a lap before somebody tries to park in the back.
There's a lot of metal and steel work in there, isn't there?
Yeah, we have to strip everything out. The seats come out, the glass comes out, everything comes out, and then put the roll cage in, and away we go.
Does everybody do this? Everybody puts the roll cage
Oh, yeah,
in?
yeah, you've got to. You've got to, yeah.
So it's not quite as dangerous as it might first seem?
No, no.
It's pretty scary out there, but we decided to throw caution to the wind and enter Steve into a race anyway. Well, I wasn't going to do it. I'm far too sensible.
There are two ways to do this. You can either go out there and go out in a blaze of glory and smash the car to pieces, which looks great and entertains the crowd, or you can win. And I would imagine it's very different, the two.
Drive round things if you want to win.
Yeah.
If you don't, you drive through things.
And the other thing somebody told me is don't change gear, which seems very strange.
Set off in first, into second, and away you go.
And then that's it for 10 laps in second gear. What about the brakes?
If you must.
I think I must, actually. go!
Steve Berry, you cannot win a race on your first attempt. That was a fix.
Got my trophy and
It
everything.
was a fix.
It was not a fix.
I saw what you did. You stayed at the back.
I did.
Nice and careful, and you
Snuck through the gaps. I did. I snuck through. But you can't
idea.
win unless you finish.
So, is this the start of a great career for you now?
Well, I have to say that despite showing obvious aptitude for this sport, I am announcing my retirement. One race, one win.
But Steve couldn't resist the temptation to repeat his victory race. Beginner's luck couldn't happen twice, could it?
Really crazy. So I won the first one and lasted a quarter of a lap in the second one. But it wasn't my fault.
The world of rallying has many stars, but they have one thing in common. They're all men. But the sport is becoming more popular amongst women, and Natalie Barrett from Cheshire is proving her worth out on the circuit.
It's a really unusual sport for a woman to compete in, especially at the levels that you're competing.